Hello and welcome to the Fixing Football podcast with me, Martin Naylor, and I'm here tonight with Liam O'Meara and Luke Fowler. Luke Fowler, how are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that. You've been absent for a while, so I think we had a New Year catch-up on the cards.
Yeah, well, Happy New Year. Yeah, been alright. I made the Lancashire team on Saturday, which I planned to do, what I told you about. So
congrats, well done.
Yep. So that's some good news. So I'll be racing, I'll get my Lancashire vest, I'll be racing into counties in March time. So
is the vest like figurative, or is it you have to actually wear that vest?
You have to wear Lancashire vest, yeah.
Alright.
Red
Can you
rose.
not buy one the same colour and run alongside?
No.
Oh. Fair enough. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was tiring. This year didn't feel a bit like Christmas. It just seemed like non-stop, and I was a bit ill, and Leo was ill, and Chloe was ill, so it was just, yeah, a bit tiring instead of Christmas. You know, Liam loves to kind of point out I love Christmas every year.
Well,
don't you, Liam?
You get invited to a lot more parties than me and Liam, so you that's probably where you pick up all these illnesses from. Have you got any New Year's resolutions?
Be a better runner.
Be a better runner.
What about person?
Person? Dad?
Nah.
Boyfriend?
Nah. just runner.
What are you? Have you got anything concrete to do that, or is that just like Forrest Gump style? Keep running.
I want to do well at the Manchester Marathon. I want to go under 2:30.
When is that? It's like July, isn't it?
It's end of April.
All right.
Close. There's two in there, because that's the 10K I think you're thinking of there, Martin, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
the 10K and half marathon, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you got the marathon that's a different event.
Yeah.
Not that I do them, I just spend a lot of time in Manchester, so I'm aware that there's two of them.
I'd
and
like
people
to
that do them love to talk about doing them, so I'm kind of aware of when they are.
Yeah. I'd like to do a run this year, like a 10K or something. Of them sorts. That was my plan until I hurt my foot randomly last week. Liam, how are you doing, mate? Sorry to leave you last on this list.
No, and you know that bothers me. No, I'm fine, thank you. It's been good. I had a good New Year. Quite a quiet one. Spent it with the in-laws, so that was nice. What did you two get up to on New Year's Eve?
Well, I was working New Year's Eve. I had a private party that I was DJing at, but my Achilles felt like it was hanging on by a thread. So I was on a lot of painkillers, and the weather was horrendous to drive through on the way back. But I had a good night. It was fine. Got paid well. That's the important thing.
That's the main thing. Was that the blizzard, was it? The New Year's... Oh, no, it was the rain, wasn't it? That rain that flooded it. Oh, I saw that in Wigan on the way back. So it's right near where I used to live when I lived in Wigan, that.
No, Bridge. I was working in, like, Preston way, and it was pretty ropey.
I wonder about the weather.
And that too. Luke, what's your New Year's Eve look like this year?
Went to a meal with some friends. Then I went back to a friend's house, but I was back home to watch the Hootenanny. So did I see 12 o'clock? I don't think I did.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds fun.
It was, yeah.
I know. We wouldn't know these things, Liam. We can imagine and live in hope that one day this podcast rises to a popularity where people want to invite us to things.
I don't think I would ever hit that. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds.
You're a bit more resistant than me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about football, because that's what we do.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about Bolton Wanderers for a minute? The returning Aaron Morley is back. The hero from Wickham. The
hero, yeah. The world's greatest midfielder returns to Bolton Wanderers.
Have we had 2 matches since we last spoke? I think it's been...
Yes, there has. We had New Year's Day.
We did, yeah. And
we've also had Saturday. It's mad the amount of football that gets played this time of year. So, New Year's Day. That was a defeat. I just can't remember who it was against now. We've had 2 away games in that time. Who did we lose against then?
Have I got Grimsby in there, though? Are they even in your league?
They are not in our league. They are not in our league. That is the league below.
Let's have a quick look. Mansfield.
Mansfield, yes. Tough place to go, famously, it said, despite Bolton not really ever playing them in their history. I think like once in 30 odd years, so I'm not sure where that comes. And also, is Mansfield known as a tough place to go? I'm not convinced it is. I mean, they were a good side, and they're doing well this year, Mansfield, considering they're newly promoted side, but Bolton got off to exactly the start that the end of the year on, which is being consistently inconsistent and losing a game away at Mansfield, and then following that up with a very good win away at Exeter. A game you couldn't be more of an away game, really. At the weekend, so yeah, very much hot and cold. This is what Bolton's doing at the moment. Not really running to stand still is the best way to put it.
What's the obvious plans then moving forward, especially this month? Is there anything? Are you seeing any rumours or anything?
Yeah, there's loads. It looks like we're going to be quite busy in the transfer window.
I've seen Joel Randall, a name being floated around.
Yeah, Joel Randall. That looks very likely now. We've been very linked with him. We were very close to getting him in the summer. I think we talked about it in the summer because Darren McAntony talked about it quite openly on TalkSport that Bolton made bids, but...
Can I just ask, right, I was speaking with father-in-law the other day and was talking about like the attackers in League One, and if you go like on paper, you'd look at the league and maybe aside from Paul Mullin, who comes with a degree of celebrity now almost, and then Jay Stansfield at Birmingham, other than that, when you start going down the list of attackers in the league, you've probably got the next best three in... this is what I'm saying, just on paper, not going off performances this season, when you're looking at the teams at the start. Dion Charles, Aaron Collins and McAtee. McAtee who's obviously chased up very a lot, but you seem to be
Don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I think a key issue of this is I saw ex-Bolton player Alan Houghton talking about this in print a couple of days ago, and I think he put it quite well when he was talking about Bolton's front line, because you're quite right. It is, but let's take Aaron Collins and John McAtee. They're two players that at the last clubs were played out wide in a 4-3-3. Now we're playing them up front in a 2. That's a very different position.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. It feels like with our front positions, we're trying to reinvent the wheel. And yeah, Dion Charles we've got, and he does score goals consistently, but he's been in and out of the team. And it does seem like he hasn't been himself for the last few weeks, I would say. His form has dropped. But yeah, there's not... Even Adam Ayejo, when he was at Burton, he scored goals from crosses, arriving late in the box, powerful striker. But we play wing back, so that idea, and even they invert. So it's like you're not playing to his strengths either. So it just feels like we're trying to do a little bit of a Harry Redknapp of just putting the players there and just hope they work it out themselves rather than actually and sort it out. But I don't know. Look, Randall looks like a good sign on paper, but I'd say that's the one position we've got loads of players in.
Yeah.
Creative attacking. We're doing a bit of a Chelsea here, where we're just stockpiling attacking midfielders and paying top whack for all of them. So I don't know. It looks good. It looked good in the game we played Peterborough earlier, because I was keeping an eye on him. Obviously, we was being linked with him in the summer, and he had a good game in that game. But he's not been great there. Like, he's barely played. He spat his dummy out because he didn't get the move. It's funny how that works out, isn't it? Like, we managed to keep them, but they do want to leave. Always happens. But we'll see. I remain positive, Martin. You know me.
You remaining positive for a playoff spot still? Do you think that's... I mean, let's give it a score out of 10 in terms of likeliness.
6.5. It's in that ballpark. I do think we're one of the best 16 in the league. So I do think as the season goes on, we will find ourselves there. And we've got strength in depth as well. So when injuries start piling up, I still think that's how we can capitalise. So yeah, I still think we'll do it, playoffs, but that in itself represents a shift in targets, because targets was automatic this year. So for us to be saying in January that playoffs is the plan, that's already failure in my eyes. But you can't write off a season at this stage just because you've not got what you wanted. So we know we've got to try and get some kind of result out of it. But on paper, this season's already a failure. And it should, even if we go up, it should through the playoffs. It should be seen that way, in my view.
Okay. Luke, Bolton Wanderers, it's your turn to shine.
Oh, here we go.
I'm only messing. I just wanted to see the look of despair that, it crept through his eyes slightly, but there's a lot of death behind them eyes as well.
Does that mean I get to go on Man United as well?
Oh, of course, yeah. We'll get to Man United because that was a big game and a good game. Scott's not here, so we don't have to talk about Chelsea and their stuttering title tilt.
No, definitely not title tilt. That was it, innit? The streets
of
Chelsea and Fulham were celebrating when they lost the game to prove that they weren't in a title race. They
did it on purpose. Let's talk about Arsenal then. Luke, did you watch the match?
I did watch the match. Well, I watched the highlights on Match of the Day. So
you was outraged as the rest of the world.
You can't go around headbutting people, Martin.
Who's done that?
Your best central defender.
Mate. All right. We'll get on to Arsenal then. Listen, I got two things about this match, and I wrote them down just so I wouldn't forget. The first one is, right, we weren't good enough to win the match. I don't think we played well and won all. We were poor and slow and rotated, and I think maybe that shows some sort of priority being put on the cups, which we got the semi-final against Newcastle this week, and the third round against Man United at the weekend. And a draw was probably a fair reflection of our performance, but that doesn't mean that Brighton deserved to win at all, because I think they were equally poor. They didn't threaten an attack once, other than like a ball flashed across the box, and they weren't much of a problem. We didn't have anything real scary to deal with. But I think the scoreline reflects our performance as opposed to theirs. Do you think that's fair?
Do you think Ursula made a point of changing things in the half? All right, let me ask two questions. Number one, do you think Arteta is too defensive in terms of the fact that you're chasing a title now? You're not in possession at the moment. Liverpool are, and you're now chasing. You need to win games. Drawing isn't enough. That's my first question. And secondly, I'd followed up with, do you think Ursula was actually the one who made the changes to try and win that game, as opposed to Arteta, who was trying to not lose that game?
Yes. I don't think we had the personnel to make changes to go and win the game. Like, we didn't have Havertz on the bench or another recognised striker or anything. Sterling's out still, so we couldn't really change it up that much. And Nwaneri had come off. We brought Ødegaard on, but I don't think he really wanted to do that if it could have been helped. Yeah, you're right, Herzl was probably chasing the win. But they hadn't done anything up until they'd made a few changes, brought Matoma on, and things went a bit crazy in the second half. So, yeah, I agree. Are we too defensive? Probably. We just have really good defenders. I don't know if that means we're set up too defensively. Like, we're playing a centre midfielder right back, and Calafiori's crazy at best of times. So, like, he'll just go anywhere on the pitch. So I don't think so. I just think we've got really good defenders, and I just don't think it's translated enough to encourage freedom and all-out attack up front. That's my answer.
I think, Martin, you've this season you're a bit one-dimensional, and you're depending on this, and you got to admit this set piece thing is it's your weapon, and you benefit from massively, but I think you're depending on it now. I think this is your main kind of where you're getting the goals from. All your goals seems to be from, not if it's not from the set piece, it will come from like the play after it. It just seems.
No, not necessarily. I think that's a. It is. No, we're the best at it. It doesn't mean it's our only weapon or main weapon, because that's the majority of our goals aren't set pieces.
you sure or not?
Yeah, because we've scored 10 like set pieces.
That's a
and we've
lot.
scored like 35 goals or something like that, 40 odd goals.
One thing I will say with Luke, where I agree with Luke a little bit here, is I think this is a massive problem without Saka because you don't have a number 9 that you can rely on for goals. So you always rely on goals from your next line. So Saka, Martinelli, Ødegaard, and really Martinelli and Ødegaard, Trossard, they don't chip in with anywhere near enough goals. So that's a massive reliance then on Saka.
Yep.
Without him, you've got a problem. And Jesus has stepped up a little bit, but you know, Christmas is over, unfortunately. So, we'll
see him again at Easter.
Yeah, it's a problem. I think that for you
without
Saka.
It is and I've brought it up on previous episodes as well about our need for a striker and who I think we should go for. I think there'll be movement. I think there'll be activity. I just wish it would be this week and not the last 2 days of the window, which is more than likely what it will be.
Is it going to be Dirty Dusan? Because he's the most available man in the world all of a sudden. Mr. Unsignable.
I know. I would be very happy if Vlahovic came in. Very happy, more than happy. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. For some reason, I don't think we'll go for him for whatever reason. I don't know. I would love him, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it because I don't see the. And there's been rumours that apparently he's been touted to you a few times, but Arteta ghosted it. I was reading about this because I did a bit of research into Vlahovic's transfer dealings because he's quite an interesting guy, Dusan Vlahovic. I don't know if anyone's. I'm not going to reference him on this podcast, but he's involved in quite a few dirty scandals at the moment. So, he's quite an interesting guy. But I was reading that his agent said that on the move to Juve, Arsenal was very much in Dusan's sort of frame. But Arteta apparently was ignoring the calls, wasn't keen on the guy as a man. The
story I heard is that I think Arteta was burned by Vlahovic and or his agents during that time, and I just don't. I think since then, I think his name's cropped up a few times, and it's probably a no-go for Arteta. He's probably he's been burned once and he's just done, and that won't be something he chases up. And that's probably what I see in terms of the likelihood of us going for him. Look, if he's available and he's there.
But we had this with Tony, didn't we, as well? It's like at what point do you try and manage someone that's difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is there ever a benefit? If they've got to deliver on the pitch at the end of it. We had Aubameyang, who was notoriously difficult to deal with. All managers have said that, but when he's scoring, you get certain leeways, and then he stops scoring, and then them certain leeways dry up, and it all ends in tears. So, yeah, I guess we'll see on that one. I think the Vlahovic saga will drag on. There'll be a
lot of blockbuster type number 9s. They come with this. It's hard to get one that isn't like this.
Yeah,
unless you get them young. Really, it comes with the territory. I think that's kind of what everyone wants them to be like. I would even look at Liam Delap, and he looks like he has that about him.
The fucking rock stars, aren't they? These big number 9s. They are the front man of any team that's where they want to be. Yeah, I get it.
Like, like when United had like Igalo, he had that same energy. I always thought.
I don't think Igalo came with that energy.
He was on loan as well.
Igalo loan.
But sorry. Yeah, I don't know who will happen. I think there'll be something. Can we talk about the Saliba penalty for a minute?
Yeah, all right.
Can I get your opinions on it first, and not your anti-Arsenal trying to be funny opinions, because no one cares about them. And
people like the anti-Arsenal trying to be funny opinions. I think that's
they don't.
That's the foundation of the podcast. But
it's the foundation of the footballing media that isn't.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think people have been derisory over this. Only you when you started googling Anthony Taylor again. Go on, Luke. I'll let you go first.
So I guess your argument is he's tried to play the ball. It's at the top of his head, but come on, It's at the balls that literally in the back of his head. He's clearly not. He's clearly missed the ball, and he's headbutted someone.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I don't know what you're asking me here, mate. It's an accidental clash of heads.
But
No.
then
But it isn't an accident, so it's a reckless challenge, which is a red card.
see, can I see what I think about it?
Please.
I've watched it about 100 times, and I don't know because I've not seen it given before. That's the first thing. However, it is like a late tackle, isn't it? Essentially, João Pedro has got the ball first, nudged it to the side, and then Saliba has theoretically tackled late. So I'm like, it's hard to argue with it. Like, but at the same time, I would be pretty annoyed if it was given against me. But at the same time, because it's been given against someone else, I can sit here and go, I can kind of see it. I just think I don't know.
I think so. It has to be, what is it? Reckless, careless, or excessive force, and
that's the yellow card thing. No, that's red. Is that a yellow and red card we're talking there?
And that's for a foul.
It's definitely reckless.
It's careless. It's not reckless because the ball's at head. The ball is flicked up 1 foot away from his head, and he goes to head it. Yeah, I know he headbutts him. I'm not saying he didn't headbutt him. Headbutt's probably a strong word. He did make contact with his head and the other guy's head.
Martin, if you want me to say that you think you're unlucky, I think you're unlucky. Do I think that it's an unjust penalty? No, it's probably not. But you're unlucky with it. It's not.
But then he touches the ball. My only other thing, right? I get what you're saying. Yeah, he does.
I don't.
He does touch the ball.
He does touch the ball.
Is that the one camera angle that you didn't see? You've watched it 100 times and you didn't see that bit?
I've not seen any head-on ball.
Then you lied then. Again, this is the sort of stuff that people don't want to hear. They don't want to hear lies, propaganda.
Do you think it's... Right, okay.
I think it's bullshit that it was checked about 3 seconds after he give it because the commentator come up and said, it's already been cleared. And we're still watching a replay. Like, how would... They hadn't deemed that. And if they'd have seen him touch the ball, then they would have...
I've got no issue with that, because if they made... I've got no issue with that, because if they made the mind up, then you can make the mind up quickly. He watched it once. Yeah, he headbutts him. Penalty. So, what do you want to do? Watch it 1,000 times to...
Whatever the point is of VAR, use it. That's why I don't want it. I hate it.
But VAR wouldn't make a difference here, because they give the penalty anyway. On the pitch. So VAR... If there was no VAR, it'd have been a penalty still.
But they said they had it and checked it.
Yeah,
they would have checked it and see that Saliba makes contact with the ball.
You can see that he
accidental clash of heads, which happens in every game.
Flying headbutts him, and then right now I'm going into anti-Arsenal funniness, but I think you're unlucky. But you played shit, so you didn't deserve anything for that game. Sorry.
Fine.
I felt like you were going to come in there, Luke. You were.
No, I agree. They played shit. They don't deserve to win that game, do they? You can argue all you want if it's a foul in the day. So
the two different things. I'm not blaming the penalty on us drawing.
I know that because you made sure you said that right at the start. So
aside from that,
mate, Matt, man, you need to sign new players. You need to buy a striker for fuck's sake. Like that's what you need to do.
What? Yeah, but someone should have said that 18 months ago, and then maybe we might have done. It's like no one's mentioned it yet.
No one's. Yeah, it's a new revelation.
I hate it. I hate VAR. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I don't ever want to talk about it.
I wouldn't have done because I just think it's a penalty, but
it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. You have VAR and you don't use it, or you do use it, or no one's clear on how and when you use it. They're trying to attempt world speed record for checking VAR now. Dermot Gallagher's on Sky Sports 2 days after fucking flicking his mate's bean all over the show. I can't stand that guy.
Which game is it that's coming up where the referee explains the decision? That's coming up, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like in the NFL, they're like, VAR says penalty, foul. Yeah, I can't remember. I know it's a Newcastle game because I remember thinking, oh God. And it's either Arsenal or Liverpool.
Is it the Carabao Cup this week? Could it be that?
Yes, maybe it is that.
All right. So by the time people are listening, we'll know.
Yeah, and we'll see. Yeah, I didn't know about that until I heard a rival. Well, not really a rival podcast because loads of people listen to that one, but another podcast.
Talking your fixtures, mine. I'm just looking at them now. January is a big month for you, men.
Yep.
Big month.
Luke, have you worked out the geography of this like you did last time you looked at Arsenal fixtures?
I know, yeah. Are we doing enough travelling for you in this period, Luke?
We're travelling around, but
I've thought about that every time I've like seen Arsenal for the last 6 weeks. Like, I'm like, what area are they here? Like,
we are on a big run of home games, and I'm just worried that every time something pops up in our WhatsApp group, it's Luke talking about, Arsenal are at home again.
Yeah, Arsenal not outside the M25 again.
Here they are. Typical 38 home games.
You've got your bogey team next, mine.
We've got Newcastle at home in the Carabao Cup. I have mentioned this. Then we've got Man United, our pansy team. We fucking slap them silly every time they turn up. Okay. And then we've got...
What's another home game? Fucking hell, how many home games you got? You got 4.
It's how it was drawn in the cup. We can't help that.
I think
2, 3, 4, 5.
This needs investigating.
And then we've got Villa and Spurs.
Oh,
and then you've got
all at home. Don't worry about it. You forget we have played all these games away as well already.
You qualify for Champions League now, and you could lose them too.
We know we've definitely qualified for the next round. We haven't
the playoff. If you're in the playoffs, you're not through.
We haven't definitely secured automatic yet, but I think 1 win should do it, or even 2 draws would do it. I think.
Yeah, and then you've got Wolves in between the 2 Champions Leagues, and then you've got your big rivals, apparently Man City at home.
Big rivals, we'll do them.
I was going to say that might be the time you actually beat them in the league.
We'll do them all. No, it'll be the game of City's big comeback. Rodri returns and
Liam Delap winner for Arsenal. Got Chelsea all over him. He couldn't be more Chelsea him.
I've seen Chelsea linked with Mark Gay today. Like serious interest for a January transfer.
That's 80 million transfer. That is a serious number to sign. I don't know. I don't get it.
All over again. Let him go for free. Yeah, he's re-signing for 80.
He's a good player, Gabe. But I'm like, I saw Newcastle. I think they offered like 60 odd million for him. I was like,
unbelievable.
Is he a 60? Sure, there's better value on the continent than that.
Yes. Listen, we will.
I reckon France have 20 centre backs better than him. Sorry.
We'll talk about that and everything else in the second half. We'll be back after this short break. And we're back. Luke Foley. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Or the other way around. It was at Anfield.
It was.
Tell us your thoughts on the game. Man United in general, everything.
It was definitely against the narrative that everyone was kind of plugging, that we were just going to get absolutely battered. Now,
Mate, were you not part of that narrative?
Oh yeah,
that was your own manager's narrative.
Yeah, I was
scared. Was the narrative before, wasn't it, from Amarim?
Well, yeah, I completely. I don't know why he came out with that, especially before that game. Why would you say you're anxious and don't want to play football like the team? It was just a weird comment to say.
Bit of a weird guy, I think. We were talking about this last week, but we'll go on, Luke. Tell us about the game.
Yeah, it's. I think we played well, but there was a major issue for Liverpool which benefited us, which was Trent. He was dog shit yesterday and made Dalot look like an absolute beast wing back.
It was mad, wasn't it? Like the first minute, Dalot just went, I'm going to start going round him instead of cutting inside playing left back. I just went at him.
Yeah, it was crazy, really. Like I think this whole Real Madrid issue is probably on his mind, and you could tell from yesterday clearly. Or is it a case of we've known this for a while with Trent? He's not really that good of a right back.
He's just not that good if you go at him. That's it's a bit of both. It's a bit of everything probably in it, and it's a good excuse to fall on the Real Madrid stuff. But it's more likely just a bad game, and your manager's aside formation and stuff aside, he's just thought, if I'm going to go anywhere, let's go down that side and go at him.
I think it's a bit more complex than that. I think basically you won the midfield battle with a 2. I think Agate and Manu won the midfield battle, which meant then that Liverpool weren't controlling the ball, which then exposes Trent, because Trent works because Liverpool have the ball for like 90% of the time. So it doesn't matter how shit of a right back he is. It makes no difference. Basically, then he becomes the most creative player in a position it's hard to pick someone up in. But when they're not on the ball, he's the biggest weakness. So if you can get hold of the ball against Liverpool, any team can exploit it. The challenge is getting hold again. Now, I think Liverpool were well off it, and I think that allowed you to win that midfield battle. But once you did, I think Fernandes particularly dragged everything down that side. He was almost living down there. So yeah, I think it was really good. I think he played really well.
Yeah, you're right. That midfield, I think, especially from the previous game where it was Casemiro and Eriksen, fucking hell. I don't know what Ruben was thinking playing against Newcastle.
I don't see what else he needs. I don't see, if he put them back in, I don't see what else he's going to learn. I feel like he's learned it now. If the idea of rotating this team is to learn, I feel like we've learned now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And we've had so many changes. You're right, Liam. He can't be putting changing all the defense around mid-game and everything like that on the midfield. So I think he's going to stick with this Kobe and Nagate with the wing backs of Delo and Mazraoui, which I think we could do better in them positions, as in the wing backs. But yeah, I think we'll see that line up more often.
I thought Fernandes was really good yesterday. I've been pretty critical of him, and I think he can do well to stink the place out, and not just in terms of how bad performances, but drags people down with him a lot as well because of where he is positionally on the pitch. But I thought he was really good. He just drifted when he needed to, but he still went out left a lot. And maybe that's tactical because they were getting a lot of success down Liverpool's right hand side anyway. Maybe just buoyed by it, but
he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be rigid if they play them too. And I don't think that's necessarily Amarin's idea, is to have a double pivot, which they had yesterday. But with that double pivot, Fernandes can go where he wants a little bit, because it creates a problem for someone like Gravenberch, because then he becomes spare. And it means that he has to deviate from his own position. It creates problems if you're doing it that way. I'm not sure that'll be the long-term plan, but it definitely worked in that game.
Yeah.
So, how many games are we in now, Luke, under Amarim? 12-ish, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
What's your assessment so far?
Well, if you're looking at that, Martin, I think I saw the stat yesterday. It's the worst ever December that United's ever had any manager.
But as we said, as we had some feedback from fans last week, and they just think, deal with it, stick with the guy, let him stick to his plan and his philosophy, and get out the players that he needs to. Do you think you need a big January, or just deal with it until summer and work out the clear out then?
Oh no, this January needs to be massive, 100%. I think we need to get rid of Rashford. That should be the number one thing to do.
No,
he's got to go. Because the longer he stays at the club now, the more it's kind of like a bit of a Cristiano situation a bit now. It's just gonna kind of put that negative and fair. Well, it's a shame really, but it has to be January.
The thing with Cristiano is he, despite his age, his performances give him options.
Yeah.
where he could have. I don't know. They were looking to.
Was it his? Would you say it's his performances, or would you say his status give him options?
Well, both, mate. But I mean, he was still United's top scorer for 18 months while he was there.
Yeah,
he was practically a shining light in a dwindling team, and yeah, they were trying to facilitate some sport. I mean, none of the big clubs are going to put him in and do a job, but there was options for him. Whereas Rashford, it looks like, well, how do we get rid of this guy who's got 4 years left on his contract at 200 odd grand a week?
There's a couple of options though that have come up in there.
AC Milan, I think, one of them.
I think a few of them are. I think quite a few in Italy. I think quite a few options in Italy. I think not only AC, which I also saw Juventus, who are potentially interested in Xerxes as well, which makes sense because it's Bologna's ex-manager there, isn't it, at Juventus now? So that makes sense. And also Napoli potentially as a replacement next summer for Vartshikelia, because he will be going next summer. But they might win the league this year. McTominay starring in a league-winning Napoli team at the moment. But
we're looking at a loan for Rashford then.
It might be a loan with an option in the summer, yeah, if Napoli did it to integrate him into the team. But I can't see him working under Conte, to be honest. But we'll see.
No. So Luke, fill us in then. Whereabouts are United? What's the mid-season report?
They're not. Are they how back are Man United?
No, you can't go off. You can't go off that game yesterday. And I've been hearing a lot on the media today, like, "Oh, this is what they should be playing like every season. Like, they're showing character now. There's going to be a change." I wouldn't surprise me if we get drummed off you at the weekend at your home game.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I think we've got Southampton after that, which is, well, if we don't win that, there's something clearly wrong. But I honestly think this January it needs to bolster that squad up. I think a centre forward needs to come in. I think defensively we need to start looking in there as well. If he's thinking of Maguire and Martinez and is it
Yoro?
Yoro he's been bringing on, but it's Delete. I don't. He's just another Harry Maguire, isn't it? Like for that goal yesterday when he was sliding down M62, wasn't it?
Maguire's just had a year extension as well.
Yeah.
Liam, Man United aren't in the best shape PSR wise, are they?
No, that's what the rumor. I'm not sure I buy that. If I'm being completely honest, I think that might be messages coming out of the club to try and ensure that they're not paying what Luke likes to call Man United tax, trying to use PSR as maybe a shield against that. I'd be surprised if United were up against the lines on PSR, given the revenues are so high. I struggle to see how they potentially can be. So we'll see. I think there must be movement in there. There must be, but they do want to sell people that are academy graduates. It's not a coincidence. I don't think that all of a sudden people like Garnacho are the people that are apparently slacking off. All these academy graduates like McTominay not doing enough and Rashford not doing enough, and as they go through the list, whichever academy graduate is letting us down now. So there's a little bit of that, I think, because that does play well in the PSR. I think they've got some movement in there. I'm not sure where you'd start though. Where would you start? Like, there's so much wrong. Where do you start?
Well, I guess that's the thing. You can just pick. You can pick any position, and you're probably going to improve it.
I think we're going to get Casemiro off the wage bill as well.
Casemiro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Lindelof is one that's been signed up.
There's a few to get rid of, but it's who you're bringing in. I quite like that long list of free agents that you put in, Liam. Or was it you, Martin, that in the group? There was a list. There's a long list in there that definitely should go after. I think Kimmich is on a free agent now.
Yes, he is. Kimmich is they're struggling on that contract. Kimmich.
Yeah.
He's linked with Liverpool, isn't he? Strongly linked with Liverpool.
I think we were linked with him in the summer. I wish we'd have gone for him, to be honest. But regardless, Kimmich will be 30 by the time you sign him. Are you just looking at pinning yourself to another? I mean, Kimmich is probably in a lot better shape than Casemiro when he joined, but you're looking at someone with similar pedigree almost in European football, and you're going at a guy who's going to be 30 in the summer. It's not the way you probably want to be acting, and probably what an Ineos-backed team are going to be looking at. Yeah,
but as Liam said before, like if you go down the youngster route, you're going to pay a premium for the youngster.
Yeah, look at Chelsea. That's what they do. You need to find yourself a Newcastle and Villa to have some sort of PSR sex with and work out some deals and get some people.
You need to get on these City youngsters. That's what you need to do. You need to find these City youngsters. When they leave, you need to snap them up. Like that's what Chelsea are. Like that Lavia is such a good signing. And that was, 50 million, which seemed like a lot at the time, but now it seems like an absolute snippet. I know it's not as heralded as much as the Cole Palmer one, but it's exactly the same almost, except you're not gone straight to the supplier with Cole Palmer.
He did play football for a year, and now he's back on bench.
He's played a lot at the start of the season. I think he's been a big reason for the turnaround. I mean,
it doesn't help that he's got £200 million midfielders in front of him. Like,
it could be good if we had some kind of Chelsea expert to take us through this, but unfortunately,
we're done with that. Done with Chelsea.
Yeah. They're dead to us. Hope they go down.
I hope they do win the league, so Scott can't come back on and gloat.
So, is that what you think you should start, Luke? Another centre midfielder? Because I think Manu and guy is horrific.
No. What, you think it's horrific?
No, I don't think it's horrific.
No, I think centre forward, 100%. That is where we need to go. Whoever's out there, you guys, you tell me. I know it's the sporting one that you like, Liam.
Gyökeres.
Yeah, he won't be going anywhere this January.
I don't know.
I think that's the noises coming out there. There's a release clause though, and I don't know why people aren't just going mad at that. And 1st of January,
he's a bit older, isn't he? What is he? 28 now.
No, he's 26.
26.
Yeah, I mean that's still bordering on the old age for a lot of these clubs who want to invest in it. I mean, if he was 24, it'd be such a different story.
Let's have a quick talk about strikers then. So you got Gyökeres.
Yeah,
Vlahovic is available.
Hold on. Because we'll do a bit of a transfer thing. But Luke, other than that,
go on.
A good performance for Man United, really.
Yeah.
They pulled something out of the bag. And my only concern is you don't have that performance in the tank very often for the rest of this season. I think that there was a lot of, despite how good I thought United played, I think a lot of it involved stopping Liverpool playing and getting into the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
They were really active in terms of ratting down. They were good in possession. They didn't give it away a lot very quickly. They made Liverpool give it away quickly. But that does take a lot out of you. And it's really hard to do that every week, twice a week, most of the time. So that being said, like, where do you see the rest of the season panning out? Are you just going to hope for glimpses and flashes of what's to come?
Yeah, I definitely don't. I'm not on the ship to say like, yes, this is a turnaround now. We're going to start blasting up the league. I think there's going to be bumps along the way. I think there's going to be silly results. Didn't quite like the messages after the game, like Martinez and a few of them say, I'm Ruben Amorim saying the mindsets, we need to change that.
Yeah. Amorim said he was pissed off that you'd lost so many games leading up to this.
Yeah. It's bad. Well, yeah, it's bad, that, isn't it? But your players should be looking at the character of the player, and it's so I don't think we're back, as Liam likes to kind of point out. So we'll just see how it goes.
Right.
Hopefully we'll beat you, men.
No, you won't. Well, we'll know if you're on the next podcast or not, because if United lose or have a bad performance, we don't see you for a while, and then the last two episodes you've just beat City. You just had that performance in Liverpool.
All time today. Can we not do a bit earlier? Actually, already wanted to talk about Man United today.
Eager Foley. Listen, Liam, let's do a bit of transfer-ish type stuff.
Oh.
We've mentioned strikers.
Am I the Alex Crook type now? Just going.
Yeah.
I've not done any research, by the way. Like you can't just come to it for transfers. Just ones that I've heard. This will be.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
Okay.
we'll pull up some threads.
Okay. So strikers available.
Arsenal need one.
Well,
So do United.
there's a few that I believe are available. So we've mentioned Vlahovic already. We don't need to go too much into Dirty Dusan. He's there.
I want some figures because I'm going to take this straight to the board. As
Well,
soon
how
as
much
this episode's live,
Vlahovic will cost you?
what we're talking?
You probably get him on loan because he's really fallen out with Juventus. One of his scandals is the classic: they concede, camera points to him, and is he smiling? His hands over his mouth. He might be smiling, he might not be. It's that classic one.
Right. Okay.
In this Super Copper out in our hosted by our good friends out in Saudi Arabia. So we'll see about that. So I think he's available on a loan, or for Xerxes apparently. So there's that one.
18 months left on his contract. So that'll probably be a loan.
That's not a long contract considering how much he went for. Because he went
loan
for
with an option in it. Yeah, he went for like 60 odd 70 million.
That'll be a 3-year contract then, or maybe 4.
Yeah,
it's not a long time for that kind of deal. Anyway, so
who's the Barcelona lad that they can't sign?
This
Danny
is
Olmo.
I really want Arsenal to just nick him for 6 months. You can
Danny
go back to
Olmo.
Barca in 6 months.
Well, that seems to be. I think every club in Europe will be interested in getting him on loan. To be completely honest,
with him, he's got a horrific injury record. He's missed more games than he's played in the last 5 years. He just seems to keep popping up for Spain whenever they're in a tournament, and
which is why he's at Leipzig for so long. I think people wondered why he was at Leipzig for so long, and it is because no one really wanted to pay. I think Barca got him on a free, didn't they?
In the end, yeah. But listen, for 6 months, he's going to do more of a job for us than Sterling currently has, and I'm all for that. He can go back.
It's very good if Erdegaard's out. Because he can operate that centre area as well really well.
I see him a bit much like a refreshed Trossard. He can do a bit of everything. Yeah, he'd be someone I'd be interested in.
I think every club in Europe will be interested in doing that deal, to be completely honest. He could be the difference between finishing second and first, getting in for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so we moved away from strikers there on Luke's fancy, that's fine. I'd say other strikers, potentially Osimhen goes back into the mix. He's loaned from Gala will be up. And he's back in the mix, and no one's talking about that one. And he's done quite well at Galatasaray as well.
It was only a 6 month loan, that?
I think so, yeah.
So whether Saudi rears its head again for him, or, I mean, his agent piped up about him playing in red. Don't know if you saw that, and it could be a Premier League team. That's what but his agent is caused absolute.
Didn't see the Southampton move, but there we go. That's
Osimhen pulling on a Charlton shirt this January is not going to be, or Wrexham.
Yeah. I could see him at United, Osimhen, to be honest. I could see that. He's relatively young, Osimhen, as well. Is he 24?
No, all these strikers we're talking about are like 26.
Is it? Okay. Well, then that's Osimhen. Who else? What about Sesko? What's going on with him?
We were really chasing him early in the summer, Arsenal, and I believe we spoke to him, and then he signed a new contract. Now, when something like that happens, either someone's made an absolutely terrible first impression and he's gone, fuck this, I'm staying, or it's like, I'll sign a new contract now, and next summer it'll be the move where the club get what they want and I get the move that I was promised. He's had a good season so far again, following on from last season and the Euros. I would be more than happy for us to break the bank for him. And he is also someone who is really inviting age-wise. He's like 22. So, maybe a lot of the clubs are probably willing to spend a bit more on him. But again, if it gets to summer, there'll be a lot of clubs after him.
Well, there's one more, I think, that's going to be quite active. And I think this one will move as well. And that's John Duran.
You think he'll
I think he'll go. Yeah, I think he'll move. I think there'll be a lot of money there. Oh, there's two, actually. So there's John Duran and there's Kolo Muani as well at PSG. And that is a big one for United. I believe United are very interested in him.
Yep.
There you go, Luke. There's your new number 9.
There's a few there for you, Luke.
I'd probably prefer.
Who'd you fancy?
I kind of
Harry
if it's
Kane.
Ruben, yeah, Harry Kane. If it's Ruben Amorim, I just don't know why he doesn't just go after Gyökeres again. If he's already got connection there, I think there was the buyout was only 70 million. Just spend it. If he knows he can play under him, just go for him.
Are you worried that players will be looking at your more than likely lack of Champions League football next season?
Good point. Yeah.
And that'll be a sticking point where you might want to go after. It's a tough word, but maybe more of the mercenary type who will still perform well, but less of the project player.
So Luke, just for you, this one, Luke. The David the Oracle Ornstein is reporting that you have apparently inquired on Kolo Muani on loan. You and Spurs are both really going for that. So
on loan, did you say?
On loan, yeah.
With an option to buy or just for the season?
I don't know, Luke. I don't, what do you want from me? Yeah,
he's dealing with tweets here.
Yeah, exactly. Tweets that I saw on the way home from work. That's
we're not doing well at bringing the facts, but no, I want to know who specifically. Liam, what about John Duran? Where and how and what do you see happening there?
I remember there was 40 bids to him in the summer.
But he was big on West Ham, wasn't he? That was nearly done.
Yeah, it were.
And then Chelsea were linked, and then nothing. And then obviously he's performed really well.
But domestic, the money is in the Premier League, so even these other teams that we're talking about, like Juventus and stuff like that, they just can't. Teams like West Ham can match that money now.
Oh yeah,
and from work permit perspective, if he's been in the UK already, it makes sense to stay in the UK for X amount of time. So that there is a chance that one stays domestic. I can't see him at Arsenal, John Duran.
No.
Even though I think you were linked with him at one point. I can't see, for the reason we talked about with personalities earlier, I can't see it because of that reason.
Yeah, maybe. I agree. I would like anyone of his ilk to be just added to the squad at the moment. Just someone who's in there and Duran plays football like someone explained the rules to him on the way into the ground. Like he goes, "Oh right, yeah, you meant to shoot, right?" And the ball goes in, and then we win. Yeah, right, okay, I'll do that. And then he just fucking shoots from anywhere.
Well, there is a man who you regarded as a big stiff idiot banging more goals in, Martin.
Who?
Chris Wood.
Not Chris Wood.
This evening. Another goal this evening. For the big stiff idiot.
Martin, I've got a question for you then regarding the Arsenal.
If Chris Wood gets 25 goals, I'll get big stiff idiot tattooed on me.
It's a similar what you asked me. Would you not just rather go after someone like a mercenary, a big signing for this season? Potentially, if you think about it, if you go run a games now, you could win the league.
Yeah.
Is it not just worth just splashing the cash on a big signing?
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Get him in.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who that mercenary style signing would be for us, because we have all the things to offer at the moment that Man United don't, other than the legacy
club.
of the mystique of Man United, biggest club in the world.
The aura.
Other than that, we have everything else to offer, money, whatever it is. So
Arteta.
So I don't know who that signing would be, but yeah, I said it last week and the week before. I just want us to go all out and get Isak. That would be my preference. If not him, Gyökeres. If not him, someone. I think Kolo Muani and Duran are a little bit, step down on that ladder, but not by much. If we got either of them.
What about Watkins?
Yeah, you know what, I was thinking about this because I saw him on the bench and I just thought he's a name who was floated around for a lot of people last summer, and got Villa into the Champions League and has done well. And he's only lost his place because Duran's made such an impact from the bench. I really like Watkins. If that was something that happened, wouldn't be mad at it at all. Whether he wins us the league, don't know. But like I said, I wouldn't be mad at it if that's what happened. I think we'd get rinsed by Aston Villa on the transfer fee, to be honest. But
they're one of the richest clubs in the world. They don't need to sell, do they?
Exactly. This is what I'm looking at. So, but they more than likely won't have Champions League football next year. So maybe it is good for
unless they win it.
Unless they win it.
Well, it's likely to be 5 places this year.
That is true. Yeah.
So they're very much in the hunt for that 5th place. If Nottingham Forest can slip up.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't see us doing any business in any other area of the pitch other than an attacking sense, whether that be a Danny Olmo or an out-and-out striker. I don't know.
I've got another one for you. Would you be pissed off if City go out and get that Real Sociedad lad that you're waiting for?
Which one? Zubimendi?
Yeah.
No. Well, we went. He was like.
That was Liverpool.
No, but the year before it was us.
Oh, weird.
No. He was great in a partnership with Marino. I think Marino suits us more, and we've got Declan Rice. He's not better than Declan Rice. So no. So it won't surprise me if City do that, and City go and do a lot of business. Liam, what do you think? Anything of City? I mean,
God knows. Honestly, it's very hard to predict what City are going to do at the moment. I don't think they spend money while all that's going on.
Really?
Unless they can pick up something on loans, I just think they've got far too many things distracting them at the moment. Okay. The problem they've got is they keep selling good players. They've sold Delap, they've sold Cole Palmer. They're selling loads of good players because they're trying to essentially work the FFP system through their academy, and that's great. But at the same time, they've got an aging squad now where a little bit of that youth that everyone else seems to benefit from wouldn't do them any harm. But no, I don't think they'll do too much. Might be wrong though. Who knows?
Right. Well, let's wrap it up there. We got through lots there, boys. Well done.
Yeah.
We are slowly hurtling towards 100 episodes. So we'll be making plans coming up for episode 100. I don't know what they are.
Am I going to be invited to these plans?
Oh, yeah, you'll be invited because I'm making them. Like if, other members of the podcast were making them, it could be up in the air. What I do want to ask is if people have any questions or stuff that they would like to do. I think like a Q&A style format on episode 100 would be fun. So I'm going to be rallying for them over the next coming weeks. So get them in the comments via email, on the comments on any of the videos or wherever you find the episode on Instagram. Do your thing. You can find all the information for this week, last week, and next week's episodes at www.fixingfootballpodcast.com. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Say bye, boys.
Farewell.
All right.